It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video, man. And it looked like Cleveland Brown media is doing what they do best, and that is stirring up the pot, dog. Yes, now they trying to say that Shedeur Sanders is making Todd Monken's job even harder. How? In what way, shape, form, or fashion is he making this man's job harder? When all he got to go out there to do is perform and win at a very, very high level. Now, we know that a lot of narratives was coming out from the Browns media in regards to these quarterback battles. They were saying this guy was coming, that guy was coming, and ultimately we ended up finding out wasn't nobody coming. Now, with that being said, there are certain reporters in the genre right now that is switching up the narrative, switching up the take, and pretty much saying that Shedeur Sanders is going to be the starter. We already knew that. The battle is between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. We already knew that. Now, for whatever reason, why they decided to go out on a limb and push a whole storyline that Anthony Richardson, Kyler Murray, and all of these different people was coming, I don't know. To me, it's looking like they're doing it just for clicks. And so now it's time to shift that storyline, and we got to talk about Todd Monken, because Todd Monken might not be here when a new stadium here. Shedeur's going to ruin Todd Monken's job and all these different things, because you want to know why? They're noticing Todd Monken and Shedeur Sanders has a relationship together. They are friends, how a coach should be. Not to mention, Todd Monken is the son of a coach, very similar to Shedeur Sanders, which means that if anybody understands Shedeur Sanders' mentality, it's Todd Monken. If anybody understands what Shedeur is going through, it's definitely Todd Monken. Todd Monken was a quarterback too, so they are similar in mentality. I'm excited to see how Todd Monken managed this battle. I'm going to forever be against the battle in part. But with all that being said, man, let's check out what they saying online, man. We got to pull up on the Cleveland streets and listen to what they said this morning. How Shedeur Sanders possibly
and
Todd Monken job.
Shedeur Sanders. Mm-hmm. And then there's still Dylan Gabriel here. And, you wish Dylan the best, because I don't care who it is if somebody can play well. But we asked Robert, what about Deshaun Watson in the final year of his contract? What happens here with Deshaun? And here's what he had to say.
Your expectations should be underneath the ground. It doesn't matter. I think that's where I sit with this. This ship has sailed so far. It doesn't matter what Deshaun Watson is in 2026 for the Browns. I think it's just a matter of, are you at a place where the offense is, I'm not going to say competitive, where the offense can be functional with whoever's playing quarterback. Walking into this season, hoping that you're going to get anything out of Deshaun Watson after the way that this entire thing has gone, I think would be misguided. We're way, way, way past that point. I think this is about playing out the string and this team going into 2027 with a relatively clean slate and a fresh start, and you figure out what everything looks like moving forward.
That's a thought that we've had. I won't, not the early part of that, but the latter part where you go into 2027. We know it's expected to be a draft that's better than this one for quarterbacks, and see what you get. See what you get in free agency, blah, 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 blah. All that said, Andy, expect nothing from Deshaun Watson this year. I get that, except
I think that's the way to go into it. I just don't know that. But realistically, you have to expect something.
Well, maybe. Let me ask you this. It's this. He's going to be on the team. He's going to be getting reps, and I would think he's gonna have the opportunity to play.
Yes.
And so
I think the opportunity to start is there for him.
I would think so too. And I agree with him. It doesn't matter. But does that help you build anything if you have no expectations? And again, this concept I just completely can't wrap my head around. Deshaun Watson sitting there as a backup quarterback to Shedeur or Dylan Gabriel. I have a hard time thinking that he is going to sit there and watch somebody else play quarterback. Not because he can't handle that or anything else. It's that, well, this was the guy you brought in to be the guy. If he's healthy, and performing at any kind of level at all, I would think he's got to be the guy.
I can't argue that. I think you're 100% right. And I don't know if you're going to look at this thing the way it seems to be presented to us, you're going to walk into the season. I don't know how you don't walk into the season saying, Deshaun, here's every opportunity to win this job. Right now, it's yours. And, we like Shedeur. We know where we're going with this thing. Well, at least we think we know where we're going with this thing, I should say. It is probably one of the most confusing and I'm trying to think of the words. Nourishing is not the word I'm looking for, but I want to be able to take hold of who the quarterback is going to be and move forward. Like, if it's going to be Shedeur, I wish they would just say it was Shedeur, but they haven't. That's what the problem is.
They haven't said
They don't
anything.
have to.
That's the problem.
They don't have to.
Nor should they.
Right. They don't have to.
Because who knows what presents itself.
If we have learned anything, this team will tell you nothing until it absolutely has to.
Let me bounce this off of you.
All right.
Todd Monken was brought in because of his offensive skill, and we just heard, Robert Mays really likes him as an offensive coach. Robert, unfortunately for Todd Monken, probably vocalizing what we all fear, and he said, and if you get things back on track and make it a more appealing thing for a better coach next year, I thought,
what?
Well, he insinuated, 1 year and done, and you make it better, maybe a better climate for a different type of coach. That said, do you think Todd Monken has a better chance? And he's right now his two quarterbacks, let's be honest, are Shedeur and Deshaun.
Right.
Okay, and the external veteran option, one that can start. There's still only one guy out there who could do that. And it's Kirk Cousins, and I don't think he's coming here.
Okay.
And I don't think the Browns want him here, to be honest.
Yeah.
And so does he have a better chance, he being Todd Monken, of coaching up Deshaun Watson and getting Deshaun close to what he was in Houston? Or does he have a better chance of coaching up Shedeur Sanders and getting Shedeur close to what Deshaun Watson was in Houston?
I think he's got a better shot of coaching up Shedeur.
Why?
Because he's younger, and maybe he doesn't have the same I don't know if this is fair or not, but maybe he doesn't have the same preconceived notions that Watson would have when he walks out on the field. That it might be easier to take a lump of clay and make it into something great than it is to have something that has already kind of been there and there's no reshaping it. I don't know. I
wonder.
I tend to now in that scenario. I would lean towards the younger guy because there's always the ability to learn, and what you don't know yet. Then Deshaun knows. Like, Deshaun's been there. He gets it. He understands. He's had success in the league. Maybe that's good. Maybe that's bad. But in your scenario that you just put together, I would lean more towards Shedeur Sanders in that.
I don't know the answer to it. My perspective on it, though, is this: if Deshaun is healthy, okay, if his Achilles is back, if his shoulder, because of the Achilles, has had even more time to get back to what it was, from a game standpoint, from an offensive system standpoint, if Deshaun has health, and let's say even 80 to 90% of his normal health, of what we expect him to be, I think he's got a better chance with Deshaun. And why? Because Deshaun has already showed that guy was capable of playing quarterback at a really high level in the NFL. He's already shown that. I think it's a question as to whether Shedeur can ever reach that. If he can ever reach what Deshaun did in Houston. And I honestly, Andy,
this just comes down to attitude.
Well,
if you're talking about teaching,
see,
Shedeur
has more time on his hands as far as to get it on track in his career. Deshaun has 1 year. And if Deshaun doesn't show something next year, do you think any team's going to sign him in 2027? I mean, take a look at the quarterbacks who are out there now and who are available. There's some guys out there who have had some success Carson Wentz was on his way to an MVP season when he got hurt. He's put up big numbers. He still needs a job. There are other guys out there. And I would think we're going to see, and not that it's going to matter, we're going to see the most motivated Deshaun Watson that he's ever been in his entire life.
I agree with
his entire life.
Or else